Hello everyone, welcome to another Versus Video Deck Tech. I am BBD, joined yet again
CVM
by CVM. And I'm going to be battling with a bit of a brew.
A bit.
Yes. The people in the comment section of the last Versus video we did really wanted to see Ensoul Artifact. By the people, I mean at least one person, maybe only one person, but that person's going to be very satisfied because we have it here today. Ensoul Artifact, 1 in a blue, lets you turn any artifact into a 5/5 creature, in addition to its other types. So I'm going to be using that alongside of Darksteel Citadel to generate
Indestructible
5/5s, which can present a lot of damage. So to go with the fact that that's a lot of damage, I wanted to play a deck that could capitalize on the damage. So I'm playing a kind of big red / burn shell behind it. So we can Ensoul our Darksteel Citadel, but we also have some other targets. Prophetic Prism, which 1 replaces itself, 2 lets us play 8 colorless lands and still cast our spells, and 3 becomes a 5/5 with Ensoul. And then also Darksteel Ingot as well, which can help ramp us into Keranos, but can also provide an indestructible body for Ensoul Artifact. So the key is to make an indestructible 5/5. That's the main goal. But we also have Shrapnel Blast as well, which lets us sacrifice an artifact to deal 5 damage to target creature or player.
It's a lot of damage.
It is a lot of damage, so it can kill things like Plukranos if we need to, but preferably we're throwing it at their face. The dream is to hit them for 5 on turn 3 with Ensoul Artifact, maybe hit them for 5 the next turn as well, and find a couple more pieces of damage and then just finish them off with Shrapnel Blast. So this deck is capable of generating a lot of damage. And then we also have 4 Haunted Plate Mails, which don't know if that's actually right or if this card's even good or not. But we don't have very many creatures. We only have 4 Chandra's Phoenixes, so frequently Haunted Plate Mail is just a 4/4, and it is also an artifact, so we can upgrade it to a 5/5 if we desperately need to, or we can throw it at our opponent with Shrapnel Blast. So it is nice for that reason. We can also equip our Chandra's Phoenix and hit him for 6. If worse comes to worse.
Or you can equip like an indestructible Darksteel Citadel.
Yep, and start getting in for 9 or a variety of other things. So, not sure if Haunted Plate Mail is where we want to be, but definitely an interesting card.
There's a reason it's been printed twice. I think they wanted to see play at some point. Like somebody in the FFL has been kicking butt with Haunted Plate Mail, and that's why they keep reprinting it. So we got to give it a shot.
You know, I actually think this card's fine. By the way, maybe not this deck, but I think it is a good card. Chandra's Phoenix just to go with the burn plan, and then 2 Keranos, God of Storms, which I like this a lot because in this kind of a deck, a lot of times we're probably going to have to play a little bit more of a defensive role than a lot of burn decks generally do, because we don't have just the raw damage output. Ours is a little bit more sustained.
Plus, we don't have War Leader's Helix to try and actually initiate a race.
Right.
In this type of deck, it's just going to be a pure, mono a mono. We're standing toe to toe with each other, and Kronos is just a way to break that parity.
Yeah, it is. It's a way with Kronos we can throw all our burn spells at our opponent's creatures instead of them, and then not stutter out in the late game because we have access to Kronos. So we can either draw multiple cards a turn or get free damage every time we draw a card. And then to go with that, we also have 12 blue-red duels, so we don't have to play any lands that don't produce red other than our 8 colorless lands, because now we have Shivan Reef, so we can cast Keranos and Ensoul Artifact much easier. Also, Prophetic Prism helps with that as well. And then we just have a normal smattering of burn spells. Maybe this deck might want more Mizium Mortars, just because overloading it's definitely a real thing with Darksteel Ingot. But I don't know. We'll have to play with the deck and see what's good and what's bad before I really know what should be in the deck or not. But I actually think this deck's kind of cool. So we'll see if it's actually able to stand up to CVM and his evil monsters or whatever.
Always the bad guy.
He is always the bad guy. Doesn't matter. He could be playing mono white gain life, and he's the bad guy.
Soulmender just puts on the shades and walks away into the explosions.
Yep. But let's look at the sideboard. All right, so we are back with the sideboard. To start things off, we have 2 Pithing Needle, which
good catch-all.
Good catch-all card. Good against a variety of decks. Also, we can put Ensoul Artifact on it and make it a 5/5.
It's pretty cute.
Yep, 5/5 Pithing Needles. We can also Shrapnel Blast our opponent with Pithing Needle after, it's run its course or whatever. And then we have 3 dragons. These are for basically any deck playing like white creatures or any kind of control deck. We're going to want more threats in those matchups, so that's where Big Dragon comes in for those. Same with Chandra. Chandra's going to come in those matchups, but also going to come in against decks with a lot of 1-toughness creatures. Pretty much standard fare for Chandra Pyromaster. 3 Anger the Gods. We don't have a lot of creatures in our deck, and the ones that we do have, for the most part, are trying to become 5/5s. So Anger the Gods is pretty good. It is bad with Chandra's Phoenix, but we can play around our own cards. But this is for like any swarm decks or like hyper aggressive decks. To go with all our burn spells, we can use Anger to get like a 3-for-1 to make our other burn spells better. And then we have Boros Reckoner, which is very good against any kind of creature matchup for the most part, including monsters. Good against monsters too.
Yeah, makes combat a nightmare.
It does, especially if we're like. I envision a lot of games where we're going to be putting pressure on them with our 5/5 Indestructibles, but we're going to need like a little bit of extra reach to get there. And Reckoner not only makes it hard for them to attack into us, but can provide that reach as well. So yeah, I think this deck's pretty cool. Excited to see how it does. But I guess we'll let the games decide on that.